Hello and welcome everyone to episode 3 of 2-Minute Tutorials. GLiTCHStarCraft here, and today we're going to be talking about what I call the 3 pillars of StarCraft 2 strategy, which ties in very closely to what I talked about in episode 2 on minerals and gas. The 3 pillars of StarCraft are as follows: economy, army, and tech. These are the 3 things that we develop in every single game of StarCraft that we play. And how we choose to get them, as well as what order we get them in, determines our strategy. I'll say it in another way. Our strategy is determined by what order we get our economy, our army, and our tech. Let's look at a few openers for some simple examples, then we'll look at another later stage game. So let's look at a few basic Terran openers just to get a feel for what I mean by economy, army, or tech-based plays. In a Command Center first opening, this is purely an economy-based play. We're sacrificing getting a barracks up early, so we're not going to have any army units, and we're not getting any gas, so we won't have any tech. And here's an example of an army-based play. In a 6 racks all-in, a Terran will stop building SCVs so that he can get up 6 barracks really fast and start to produce a lot of Marines. Again, no gas, so no tech. And a Cloaked Banshee opening is a perfect example of a tech-based play. In this style, we get up 2 gas super early on so we can have lots of gas to get up our starport and our Cloaked Banshee research. In this style, we don't have a whole lot of army, it's mostly tech. So, in general, with good scouting, you always want to be aware of which pillars your opponent is developing. If your opponent is taking bases, his economy pillar is going to be big, but his army and tech pillars will be relatively small. In this case, if you have been putting money into your army pillar, your army is bigger and, well, you have an advantage there, so you should attack before his economy kicks in. On the contrary, if you've been developing your economy and your tech, you should be sitting defensively till your economy gives you enough of a boost to catch up in army. Let's take a look at a game. So here's a game between Acer MMA and EG's Huck. And for those of you wondering, we are definitely going way over 2 minutes today, guys, but don't worry, this is important stuff. I promise, it's going to be good. Alright, so in this game, both players have gone for a very early economy-based play. Both players getting lots and lots of economy up, getting up their 2 bases, and then getting up a lot of tech also with this. Notice, not a whole lot of army for either player at this point in time. A few stalkers for Huck, and some Marines out on the field in a bunker for MMA. As a general rule of thumb, you can work on up to 2 pillars at a time. Trying to develop 3 is extremely difficult, and I generally don't recommend it. During your games, you should be always asking yourself, which pillar is my advantage? Am I being too greedy? Which pillars am I developing right now? And be sure to ask the same questions of your opponent. What is your opponent doing? Which of your opponent's pillars is he working on? In this particular game, Huck decides to go pretty heavy into the tech path. Notice that he's already gotten up a Dark Shrine, he got up his charge, very early blink, and upgrades off of just 2 warp gates. He only had 2 warp gates at the time that he got all this on 2 bases. So he was focusing mostly on economy and tech. Whereas MMA, on the other hand, opted to get up his 2 bases, get up a little bit of tech, just kind of middle-ish tech, getting up a Marine Marauder medevac-based army, and then do an economy-based play. And so now he's transitioning into purely economy and army-based play. From here on out, he's just going to stay at this tech level, Marine, Marauder, medevac, and then he's going to develop his economy. Whereas Huck went for this early DT play, which ends up not doing too much damage, and he's delayed his third by quite a bit, because now he's forced to get out a whole lot of army. He has to be able to deal with all the army that MMA was building while he was building all of his tech. So MMA ends up getting out a whole lot of units here and just focusing on army and economy, and because the tech of Huck in this game didn't quite work out so well, eventually MMA is just going to end up overwhelming his opponent. I've now jumped ahead in this game so that you can just kind of see the outcome of this game, but at this point, MMA just kind of waited until this third went up because he knows that his economy put him in a good place to the point where he could actually just kind of wait until his opponent tries to expand, and then at that point he knows that he has the bigger army. The big point I want to get across here today is this. At every point during a game, when no one has done anything to get a huge advantage yet, if you're spending your money, you have an advantage somewhere, either in economy, in army, or in tech when compared to your opponent. If you can identify which of your pillars are the strongest, and which of your opponents are the weakest, you can figure out what is going to be the best way to take your opponent down. Be sure to hit that subscribe and like button down below, and this has been 2-Minute Tutorials. Thanks for watching, guys. Glitch out. And just for your satisfaction, I'll let the rest of this game play out so that you guys can watch it. Thanks for watching, guys.